Hi, my name is Daniel Dal Molin, and I'm a financial planner here with Global Financial Consultants in Singapore. Today we're going to chat about why people decide to retire. Based on research and questioning people in the market, people that have already retired, why they decided to retire, I've come up with a few points that I think are very interesting as to why people choose a specific time to retire. The majority of people we've surveyed actually have told us that they retired when they reached the financial means of retirement. So they didn't wait for a specific date or a number of years or how many years in the job or how old they were. Once they had the financial means to retire, they retired. The next category was people who retired because their work or their employer offered them redundancy. So they took redundancy and they exited their job. And the next category was people decided to retire because of poor health. So in this case, people said that they retired because they were in poor health, they couldn't go to work so often, or the demands of the jobs were too high for their level of health. So they exited the workforce and they retired. The next reason for retirement was there was a change in job profile or a change of boss. So people thought that because their boss had changed, they couldn't deal with a new guy or girl, so they exited the workforce. Or their job had increased in responsibility, so they thought they couldn't take that responsibility on or it was too much, and they exited their work. The next category I thought is the interesting one is people have changed job or changed career. So they exited their job, their main job, they're probably semi-retired, and they've taken up part-time work or they've started to do something that's a bit more interesting for themselves. The next category is actually very common here in Singapore, where people have exited the workforce to take care of a sick family member. Usually people exit for a year thinking after a year they'll go back into the workforce, but sometimes this can extend to a few years outside of work, and then when they decide to go back in the workforce, maybe they don't have that sort of work, so they retire. So remember, the largest portion of people that retire do so because of concerns or because of reasons outside of their control. This is a very important point. So you need to consider maybe something happens in your work or something happens to somebody close to you and you're forced to retire earlier than expected. Are you ready? If you'd like some help talking about how should you go about retirement planning, give me a call. Happy to help. Thank you.